two, one, action.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the Black Millennium Podcast, Season 2. You feel me? We're back here. I'm Caleb. I've been doing good. I'm back here with Million. Tell him how you doing, my boy. How you feeling?
I've been mute this whole time. I'm doing pretty good. I've been feeling pretty gay. You know how it is.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. We blessed to be back here shooting another episode, man. Um, yeah, you ready to rock, man?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
Nice, 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 nice. So today, we just wanted to discuss what do you do when you feel down or sad? What's something that you do to help you elevate out of that moment?
You want me a question?
I'm asking you that question.
All right. What do I do when I feel sad? I just like to talk to people. I know it's for some people that's trivial because they like to do things on their own, but I just like to make sure that there's always someone that I can talk to because everyone may not be the same thing, but everyone's going through something. You know what I mean? And it's always good to just have a second opinion on every little thing. And it just I don't know. It's weird for me too because I'm not too social, but whenever I'm in like a bad mood, I feel like I need to talk to someone. I need to have some type of human interaction in order for me to feel better. So I don't know. I like to use people to kind of make me feel better.
I think that's cool, bro. To be honest, I think that's really cool. It's different because you, like you said, you're not social, but you you talk to somebody. That's crazy because somebody like me, I'm real social, but when I'm mad, yeah, I might want to talk to somebody, but sometimes I might have to, you know, cool down. Or I might it might not even be when I'm mad. It might be when I'm feeling down or sad. I might have to cool down, have that conversation with myself real quick, and then I could have that conversation and somebody else could really help me. It's always good to have friends by us that help us, right? I think that's worth more than money. You feel me? A lot of people could be there for you with different things, money, the lifestyle, whatever that may be. Uh, but sometimes when you have friends that's just there to, simply listen to you, I feel like that could be worth more than money, bro.
It can be worth money, but let me tell you, maybe it's not a good thing, but also what makes me feel good is going shopping online, especially nowadays. I'm at home doing absolutely nothing, and it's like I see a bunch of ads for stuff that I don't need, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I want this just to make myself feel good, you know?
Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Not to say money solves all your problems, but it helps a little bit. Just, you know,
Money definitely talks, right?
it talks a
Money
lot.
definitely talks. I this year or no, yeah, 2020, 2021. That was one of the first years that I really spent money on myself. And it did make me feel good, you know? I won't lie, it did make me feel good. Only thing is I don't like to run out of money. I don't like
Well, I don't think
it.
anyone likes to run out of money.
No one likes to run out of money. So sometimes that I say that pushes me down the cheaper route sometimes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm all right with that. I can live with that because I'm
Mm.
sitting on a little something in the bank account. You feel me? So that's why I'm all right with that. But I want to lead on to what helps you cope when you're down. What's something that you do that you think helps you?
Something that helps me a lot. Something in my eye. Listening to people, and when I say listen to people, I don't mean just listen to people talking. I mean like listening to music. Sometimes I listen to a podcast every once in a while. I just like hearing other people's voices and sounds, and just I like hearing because a lot of people. I think a lot of people's voices are very therapeutic, and that's why I like listening to them, and that's why I like the YouTubers that I like or the podcasters that I like because I like listening to people. You know, I like listening to sounds, and it gets me in the mood. Maybe it doesn't get me in the mood. It shifts my mood more to say. Whenever I'm feeling sad, it's whenever I'm hearing something or someone. It's always even if it's my mom yelling. For some reason, I find my mom's voice, though so stern, to be very therapeutic. And so sometimes I'll just sit there and just talk to her for hours just about nothing. I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what's up, man. That's what's up. I respect that you say, you just having your mom's voice, having her there. That's dope that helps you, um, get better when you're down. That's some a lot of people, not just me, but others that don't have their mom anymore could they would do anything to hear my mom's voice. I'll do anything to hear my mom's voice, and I'm sure other people who relate right now will do the same thing. So embrace that. That's cool that that's something that helps you. Something that helps me when I'm down, specifically something that helps me cope when I'm down. Uh, when sometimes I like to read the Bible, or like get some type of guidance or wisdom. It might not be from the Bible, it might be from a podcast, might be from a person, might be from a book. And I like to play basketball. So when I'm down, I love to play basketball, because when I'm playing basketball, like I'm just totally like not even like thinking about what just happened. I'm on a whole nother planet at that point, just rocking out playing basketball. So those are two things that help me.
Hmm.
But what I think is important is when do you realize really that you're feeling sad? When is it that we take time to self-reflect?
I don't think there's ever like a sharp moment where you like think to yourself, "Oh, I'm in a bad mood today." It happens kind of more gradually, and you start to, and like throughout the day, and you start to see all these. You start to react to certain things differently. That's how I figure it out. I'll start to react to certain things differently. Like if someone prevents me, if someone talks to me, I may talk differently to them, or I may not talk at all. I may talk a little bit less to them, and that's how I would know that maybe I'm something going on today, and I'd have to think about it, and I'd be like, well, what went on today in my life that made me sad or mad or angry this way. And but it's for some people, I don't think it's like a really realizing point. It's more of a just, it happens, it's not really like a turning point in their life that's kind of like noticeable. It kind of goes more under the shadows, and kind of just creeps up on you every once in a while, depending on what the situation is. Of course, sadness can just, it can hit you hard, or it can creep up on you. And I like we said though, but finding, it is important to sort of find why and when you became sad, because once you know why you're sad, obviously you'll be able to sort of resolve that conflict within you.
Yeah, for real, for real. You hit it right on the tail with that one. You're gonna resolve that. I think also, like, it's good to self-reflect, because you see why everything happens for a reason. Whether I mean, you either may like it or not, but you often see, like, you get to self-reflect, and it takes you through memories. You see how you might have persevered when you were out that time. That's something that I like to do, just self-reflect, because when you do self-reflect, I feel like you see a lot of growth in yourself. We all grow, from me to you to the person that's driving at home. I mean, not driving at home, but driving their car right now, listening to this podcast. We've all grown. And I think we all should reflect on that, even if it's, we're down, uh, we're up. It's always good to self reflect on any time that we had, good or bad. Get me?
Right. So yeah, self-reflecting is very important. And I feel bad for people who kind of don't know how to self-reflect, because then they're wrapped up in all this emotion and sadness too much, so they don't know how to get out of it. And that can be hard for a lot of people. I know I've had those moments where I'm like, maybe I don't want to talk to people. Maybe I don't want to not feel sad sometimes. I don't want to run away from it. And as it can help having to face it up front, but at the same time, for a lot of people, it can be very destructive, and it could be very disheartening to know that people don't know how to get out of this feeling of sadness or hopelessness or something like that.
Yeah, for real, for real, for real, for real. But what I always tell people is that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Um, keep pushing, keep pushing. There is a light.
Yeah, there's light in the tunnel. And sometimes I think I said this. I was saying this before, but sometimes you need someone else to help you find that light. And so I wanted to ask you: do you feel like when you're sad, do you feel like you need to go through things alone, or do you kind of need help?
Um, I feel like sometimes it's different. I do what works for me, really. I feel like sometimes I do need help. I like to talk to people, talk to my therapist, talk to my friends, my homies, my dad, um, my sister. I'd like to talk to people, and sometimes I may not like. I may not that I don't want to talk to anybody, but sometimes I may just want to take a a ride with myself and just talk with myself first and work it out with myself first. So my answer would be I do what works for me. What about you?
I mean, depending on the situation, I could want to, like you said, be alone and talk to myself. It helps being alone sometimes, but generally, I think I need help with some time processing and getting through some type of sadness in my life. That's just the type of person I am. I have trouble trying to, especially since I'm so young. I have trouble trying to navigate sadness sometimes and stuff like that, and it's okay. But and then there's a thought of that maybe I don't know. Maybe I just I don't know. Maybe I just deserve sadness. And I don't want to seem so morbid and dark right now, but that is sometimes a route that I go through. And, like I was saying before, it helps to have someone else talk to me and be like, no, this is not normal. This is not something you should get used to. Because, like you said, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and you should always look for that light.
Facts, facts. Always look for that light. Always, always. And there always is that light. Always. Just gotta keep I always tell like anybody that I talk to that may be going through like um a, a sad time, like the best thing you can have around you or within you is a positive push through of mindset, just stay as positive as possible. Although things do get tough, times do get tough when you're down and sad, but in the back of your mind, keep that uh positive push through mindset. I feel like that further advances you. But when it comes to talking to people, that's always a good thing. And I always tell anybody, like I said, anybody that's going through something like that, to talk to somebody. It's great to talk to somebody. Some people may that you talk to may not help you, but there may be some people that do help you.
Right.
It's all about how we identify that someone that does help us when we're down, and that's good to turn to. So how do you identify?
I mean, it's good to always identify. But I will say there have been moments where I've talked to someone and they've made me feel worse. And that's where I kind of like I made sure I cut it off. I'm like, okay, I'm not coming to you with my problems anymore. Um, but how I find those people, I don't know. I think one way to find them is just seeing how they react to sadness themselves, or they react to a certain situation themselves, and it's kind of like a two-way street. You have to have a mutual understanding of each other in order to help each other through these type of moments you have. So it's kind of like testing the waters a bit, just presenting them with a situation, hypothetical or not, present them with a situation and seeing how they would react to it, and then you using that to kind of be like, okay, I can talk to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's big. That's big. I think um since like I've gotten older, you have some friends that may be there for you during that time, and it's without a question. And you have some that may not be there for whatever reason. Maybe they can't, or maybe they just simply can't be there for you every single time, and that's how people feel. And you might have one of those people like that close to you. You don't know. But like I said, that's sometimes how people feel. Like sometimes they feel like, yeah, like we go through things, but you got your friends won't be able to help you all the time. And
Right.
I mean, me being a friend from a friend perspective, I'm gonna try to help any friend I have whenever I can, if I'm available. Why not? If I could help with an ear or a hand, why not? I don't know if I would call myself a friend if I just let somebody suffer when I could help them.
Right.
Um, I don't know, but it's real life, so it's something that we can't ignore. It's all
Right.
about like you said, identifying that good person to turn to,
Right.
and it's kind of like whatever you need. When you're hurt or you're sad and down, um, you need certain things out of a person. It might be advice, like you say, you value somebody's voice and what they have to say. Sometimes you might just want somebody to simply just listen.
Right. I'm a very caring soul, so I kind of I don't like when people come to me with my problems because obviously I feel bad for them, but I kind of like helping people through their problems. You know what I mean? It's nice to know that people trust me enough to kind of come to me and stuff like that. But going back to what you said about doing things, doing what you need to do for yourself at the time, I feel like some people do the most bizarre things, and I don't. I'm not shaming anyone for it or something like that, but I feel like in order to cope with stuff, some people do some crazy things, and some people do some things where I'm just like, okay, why are you doing this? Just sit down and just think. Like maybe I'm gonna talk about my dad. It's not crazy, but I don't know. I don't. For some reason, it works for him. Whenever he's down or like this whole pandemic, he's been fine. He lost his job, stuff like that. But in order to cope, he's been and wait, he does what he does all the time. He builds. He's constantly been building this whole time. We have like two new additions to the house that I did not see coming. Sometimes he just pop up out from Home Depot with some random blocks of wood, and I'm like, okay, what are you building now? And I'm like, the whole family is like, what is going on? Why is there so much construction going on in the house? But that's something that helps him to get through it. So we're not gonna stop him from doing it. That's something that helps him, and he helps. It's good for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So everyone has their own little thing, the little quirk that they like to turn to whenever they feel some type of way, and I think that's a good thing.
I do too. Like that leads to the like my ultimate advice is do what works for you. Do what works for you. Don't do anything stupid.
Oh yeah,
Don't do nothing stupid. You feel me? But do what works for you. It might be a run, a walk, whatever works for you. Do what works for you. You feel me?
I'm one of my friends. They told me one time they had something that happened in their life. I'm not gonna say it, but something that happened in their life was very personal, and they said they went with their dad to go rock climbing, and I was like, if I was in that situation, that would just make me more stressed out. But hey, they did it for them. They went rock climbing. I don't know. I would be scared out of my mind to go do that after just having a very personal experience in my life. I just no. I'm sorry. I'm laying down.
Hey, I can feel that, but you know what? I shout out to your friend. You feel me? If he's listening to this, shout out to you, my man. You did what worked for you. I hope you got through it and continue to do what works for you.
Right.
But be safe at the same time. Thank you
Please be
for
safe.
rocking. Thank you for rocking with the Black Millennial Podcast, Season 2, Episode 1. We are out. We'll see y'all next week. Thank you.